Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a 5-year overdue top 10 list. My top 10 best movies of 2015. I'm starting with the positive list first. Oh boy, do I wish it was 2015 right now. If that year was far better than this year, but oh well. As Joy from Inside Out would say, think positive. This year still has time to improve. But yeah, since uh, I have shared with you my top 10 favorite movies of 2016, 17, 18, and 19. And with my top 10 best movies of 2020 to come at the end of this year, I I've still I sadly never got the chance to do a top 10 list back in 2015 because I didn't make YouTube videos back then. So I am going to be making top 10 lists for every single year I've been alive, going all the way back to 1995, and maybe even further than that. But yeah, 2015 has uh, a ton of classics in it. So without further ado, if you want to know my top 10 favourite movies from 5 years ago, then just keep watching. At number 10, the most surprising movie of 2015, Kingsman: The Secret Service. I haven't reviewed every single movie on this top 10 list yet, so bearing in mind there will be some minor spoilers for my general thoughts on the movies, but I will post a proper review of them at some point, so just to give my full thoughts on that particular movie. But as for Kingsman: Secret Service, sure, the sequel to this movie, Golden Circle, was underwhelming for sure, but Secret Service is a superb and a king-worthy spy movie. 2015 was the year for spy movies. We had like 4 spy blockbusters that year alone, from Spectre to Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation, uh, Kingsman, and even Melissa McCarthy's Spy. But Kingsman: Secret Service would be the second best of the 2015 spy movies for me. It has one of the most amazingly assembled casts of that year, from Taron Egerton, Sophia Cookston, Samuel L. Jackson, Colin Firth, and even Michael Caine. And it was thankfully smart enough to be original, to stand on its own and not copy James Bond. So let's hope that the prequel coming out this year follows in the footsteps of this movie. At number 9, unpopular pick, but Jurassic World, maybe the most underrated movie of 2015, despite being one of the highest grossing movies of that year. Uh, uh, but uh, but Jurassic World for me was the strong reboot to revive the Jurassic Park franchise from extinction after the stinker that was Jurassic Park 3. But nearly everything about this movie is so cool. I had a freaking ball with this movie, and it's easily the most epic Jurassic Park movie to see on the big screen since the original. The just the whole concept of a dinosaur theme park is just the coolest, and Bryce Dallas Howard and Chris Pratt's Claire and Owen are two leads that are likable enough to carry an entire trilogy easily. As a Jurassic World 3 is easily in my top 10 most anticipated movies for 2021. The Indominus Rex being arguably the greatest Jurassic Park antagonist, and that final fight maybe the most astonishing final battle in the entire Jurassic Park franchise. At number 8, Creed, Ryan Coogler's boxing masterpiece. I may be a bias to Ryan Coogler as he did direct Black Panther, my second favourite MCU movie, but yeah, but whenever Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler collab for a movie, the movie passes with flying colours, and Creed is a boxing movie for me that's far easier to watch the emotionally traumatizing and scarring $1 Million Baby. And Sylvester Stallone even comes out of retirement from boxing movies, and we get to see him be a trainer this time. So this may be his greatest performance since Rocky. At number 7, The Martian, one of the best space movies of the 2010s decade in general. I would never watch that overrated Ad Astra over this gem. Yeah, Matt Damon and Jessica Chastain are both terrific, and the idea of a crew, making the effort to travel all the way back to Mars, which would take a goodness knows how long to rescue one of their crew to bring him home safely is so incredibly heartfelt, and the scenes on Mars have some of the most breathtaking imagery of any movie in 2015. At number 6, the Peanuts movie, second favourite animated movie of 2015. This is the first great blue sky movie since the first Ice Age. And thankfully they didn't mess up Peanuts or Charlie Brown, because thankfully the creator of Peanuts' grandson worked extra close with Blue Sky to make this movie as perfect as it could be. And thankfully they avoided modernizing Charlie Brown. They kept it taking place in the 60s, and I'm okay with the CGI animation because it replicates the classic hand-drawn look of the Peanuts cartoons extra accurately, and even the soundtrack is charming, and they even got recorded lines from Snoopy's original voice actor to voice Snoopy again. And seeing Charlie Brown finally come out of his rut and succeed and win the heart of the red-headed girl at the end, that is what all the Peanuts fans have been waiting for. At number 5, this may be an even more unexpected choice than Jurassic World, but Sisters. I take it back when I called Jurassic World most underrated movie of 2015, because now, think on second thoughts, Sisters would be even more underrated. This is the sweetest sister movie I have ever seen since Frozen. Amy Poehler in her second major role that year, and Tina Fey both freaking kill it in their roles as these two sisters who have a strong bond as can be, though they do have their moments of bickering, which is exactly the same relationship I have with my sister, but the love they have for one another conquers all. And I never thought a movie where 80% of the movie is just one colossal house party could be this much of a blast to sit through, and the Apple Bob dance scene was just the bomb. But the movie never forgets the heart and its purpose. It's all the key ingredient, which is the relationship between the sisters, and this should motivate other directors to make more movies about sisters out there whenever they make sibling based movies. Which movie would you rather watch, Step Brothers or Sisters? It would only take me a millisecond to pick Sisters. It's a shame that this movie is so little talked about because it was released at the exact same time as Force Awakens and Alvin and the Chipmunks 4 Road Trip. At number 4, Mad Max Fury Road, what the majority would call their favourite movie of 2015, is my number 4. But Mad Max Fury Road, this is unquestionably my favourite Mad Max movie, and one of the most impressive and jaw-dropping action movies of the millennium. Both Tom Hardy and the kick-ass women, Charlize Theron and Rosie Huntington-Whiteley, are all fantabulous. The action scenes are mag-freaking-nificent. So yeah, so some of the very best of at film school, show your students action scenes from Mad Max Fury Road, and they will know exactly how to do action with minimal CGI as possible. It's practically all real, and it looks more mind-blowing than anything Michael Bay could ever do. At number 3, Spectre. 'Cause the writing's on the wall. Yep, it is written on the wall, but I fiercely defend Spectre. I'm baffled that some people rank this at the bottom of their Daniel Craig bomb rankings. Quantum of Solace is a far weaker movie, and Spectre for me is the definition of a spectacular Bond movie, and it's currently my personal favourite. Spoiler alerts for my Spectre review later this year once I get to the Craig era. But Spectre has the most ambitious opening scene ever to a Bond film with the Day of the Dead, and that meeting scene is simply perfection. Daniel Craig gives his most enthusiastic performance yet. Madeline Swan is the most badass Bond girl. Christoph Waltz's Blofeld is easily my favourite 007 villain. 30 minutes of screen time is all he needed to show his awesomeness, and even Monica Bellucci, she's the oldest Bond girl. She was 50 at the time, but in those 5 minutes she has, she was truly stunning. And this is also the darkest of the Bond franchise currently. It has scenes that should have got this movie a 15 rating at the very least. So can No Time to Die dethrone a Spectre as my favourite later this year? Only the future will tell. At number 2, Inside Out, the most incredible animated movie of 2015, and Pixar's incredible return to the big screen after taking a year off in 2014. Is this movie a masterpiece or what? Shame on the Academy for not nominating Inside Out for Best Picture. Yeah, this Pete Docter's still my favourite Pixar director, and this would be my second favourite movie from him, second only to Monsters, Inc., of course, but my god, Inside Out is a rare and special kind of animated movie that kids needed to be shown more. it shows that it's all right to be sad and have a cry when you're going through such a difficult and harder time in your life. And like what Riley was going through, I can especially relate to her struggle of growing up, because I'm feeling I'm really, you know, coming of age this year and learning new things about the world, and I cried this year more than ever. So yeah, in Inside Out is a movie that I really need to watch at some point to give me some cheer. Amy Poehler did a pitch perfect job at voicing a Joy, one of my new favourite Pixar protagonists, and her being a dip to sadness was the purpose for her to realise that sadness does actually have a place in Riley's head after all. And Bing Bong's death was one of Pixar's most brutal moments, and this movie made me want to travel to San Francisco just to have a bite of a broccoli pizza. And it successfully held the title. As my favourite movie of 2015 for months on end, until one special movie in December just dethroned it. And my number one favourite movie of 2015 is none other than, you guessed it, the biggest movie of that year, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The most anticipated movie of all time since The Phantom Menace back in 1999. And this movie was the first Star Wars movie to make my number one favourite movie of the year since Empire Strikes Back, and it was for 4 years my favourite Star Wars movie. This movie is why I love movies. And this was the very first Star Wars movie I had the privilege of seeing on the big screen. It was a magical moment in my life, and it took me until I was 20, but it finally happened. And I was obsessed with collecting all the merchandise for Force Awakens at the time. I still have my BB-8 and Rey, and I even have a Force Awakens blanket on my bed. And it's still the highest grossing movie of all time in the United States, and it's still higher. And J.J. Abrams doesn't rehash A New Hope, and the fans said they wanted the sequel trilogy to feel more like the originals and less like the prequels in the first place. So I have no idea why they were complaining about the similarities, but Rey is the most wonderful Star Wars heroine, and Kylo Ren being even more iconic than his grandfather Darth. And Kylo Ren being even more iconic than his grandfather Darth Vader, and Han Solo's death being the most emotionally powerful Star Wars moment since the ending of Revenge of the Sith. And this movie did what the prequel should have done by filming it on real locations and bringing back the practical effects again, helping Star Wars feel like a living, breathing galaxy once again. This movie still has one of my top 5 favourite movie cliffhangers when Rey meets Luke on Act 2, and she offers him the lightsaber. I have never waited so impatiently for the next chapter in a trilogy since I can't remember. So yeah, the Force Awakens, I am proud to call my favourite movie of 2015. So that was my top 10 best movies of 2015, and of course, stay tuned for this video's twin, my top 10 worst movies of 2015. Well, I love you guys, thank you for watching, I hope you guys enjoyed this top 10 list, and what are your top 10 best movies of 2015? Please comment and let me know, please like this video and subscribe, please follow on Twitter, and on Instagram. And I'll see you all next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.